then you need to compute the Mann-Whitney test. So the test Mann-Whitney is denoted as U, the minimum of pi and 15. So this is pi. And again, to check whether what you have get here is correct or not, you have to look whether U1 plus U2 equal to Mn.
Yes.
If yes, meaning that you have correct. You have got it correctly. You have correct. You understood well. Okay. Now it's good that you understand well. Let me now move on to okay. Now, okay. Now look back. Slide number 9. Yeah. Look back. Slide number 9. So everyone, please look at 9. Okay. All right. Now. So I think by now you should know how to make comparison when sample is small, when there is no tie, and when there is a tie observation. Okay. Now, let's say your sample is large and there is a tie observation. Yeah. So how are you going to test your hypothesis? Yeah. Yeah. So usually you have to remember when sample is large, we use normal approximation. Yeah, remember normal approximation. Okay. So for normal approximation, yeah. So you need to find the mean and the variance. Yeah. So I think we okay. Now the variant of U, because you have to write down when sample is large, U approximately cannot show here, normal with mean mu and the variance sigma squared mu. So the variant of sigma squared mu, so how to get this? Yeah? So the variant will be Mn, Mn, capital N, you know that the sum of the two sample. G, what is G? The number of tight group. And T, the size of the tight group. Meaning that how many observation in the tight group. Okay. So just for illustration, let me check here. Before I forget, now look at this slide. Which slide is this? Slide number 8. Yeah, slide number 8. Yeah, please look at slide number 8. Yeah, slide number 8. Number 6. Yeah, that item number 6. When sample is large, we use normal approximation. Yeah, this normal approximation. You use the mean is Mn divided by 2 and the variance is capital N plus 1 Mn divided by 12. This is the formula to use. When U is normal, approximately normal, and has mean and variance, so you can convert it to Z, isn't it? So how to get Z? U, yeah, the one that you get it from phi, U minus Mn divided by 2 divided by square root of sigma squared U. Then you will make use of this Z statistic to test the hypothesis. Okay. So for this slide number 8, slide number 8 is for large sample and no ties observation. Okay. Slide number 9 is dealing with tie with large observation. When there's a tie, you look at the variant of U is already changed. Please take note on that. The variant of the U change when sample is large with ties observation. When there's no tie, different. That is from slide number 8. Now for illustration, let's look at slide number 10. Slide number 10. Well, this is just for illustration. Just illustration. Afterward, you say, hey, this is sample small. Why you say large? So please take note. Yeah, on your slide, you said, this is illustration for large sample. Yeah, assuming that sample is large, so that easy for Hafsah want to illustrate. Yeah, don't say afterward. You say you go back. Say when sample is 4 and 2, this is large. No. Yeah, please take note on that. Just for illustration, when sample is large with size observation. Okay. I just want to show you what do I mean by G, what do I mean by size group, size of type group. Let's look at this. If you look at this observation, you have 6 appear 3 times. So meaning that is time. 2 appear how many times? 2 times. Meaning there's a time. Yeah. So meaning that there are 2 types group. Yeah. So we have 2 type group. Yeah. G equal to 2. Okay. What is the first group? The first group, the smallest one, 2, 2. Yeah. Where the rank is 1.5. Yeah. So the first group, the smallest one is 2 appear how many times? 2 times. That's why the size of T1 equal to 2. Yeah? And how about the second group? 6. Observation 6 appear how many times? Observation, the size is T2. Appear how many times? Is it 5 times? Answer me, is it 5 times?
No.
No.
Good, because you notice this. Yeah? I just write 5 so that you get alert. Say, hey, this is not 5. What is the value actually?
3.
3.
Good. 1, 2, 3. Appear 3 times. Just purposely write 5 so that you know to correct this. Okay, that's good. So now you can apply that to the formula here. So G is equal to 2. Yeah? T1 twice. T1 twice. Who's that? Mute, Make noise. You don't mute, Okay, let's look at the next one here. Let's look at the next one. Okay. Now, look at which slide? Number 15. Look at slide number 15. Look at slide number 15 now. Here I want to show you there's another way of calculating the Mann-Whitney U-test. Okay, there's another way of calculating this. Easy, yeah. So this is easier to calculate, yeah, without comparing each of the observation of X to the left of Y, yeah, to each of the observation of Y to the left of X. You do not have to do that. This is the alternative how to calculate U. Yeah. So this is based on the Wilcoxon rank sum test. Yeah. Not to be confused with the Wilcoxon sign rank sum test that you have seen before for paired dependent sample. Yeah. So basically, how to compute the U is by using this formula. Yeah, by using this formula, how to compute U. Either U1 or U2, you use this formula. Yeah, where S is the sum of the rank of all observation. Yeah, and so on. Just for illustration. We look at this example again. Yeah, male and female. Remember, look at the same example where you want to get the Mann-Whitney U-test. Now, how to use this based on the Wilcoxon rank sum test? Yeah, so you join this, combine all the observation and rank the observation in increasing order. So you rank. The smallest one is 1, 11, 12, and so on. Right? So next, how are you going to do? Because you want to calculate S, sum, the rank of all observation for the first sample, for the second sample. So then you get S, and the sum for the first sample. 5 plus 7 plus 3, 32. and the sum of the rank of the sample, second sample, you get 13. Alright? So next, how to deal with that? Okay. So U1, because in general, I write how to get U, S minus N plus 1 divided by 2. So now, how to calculate U1, I refer to the first sample. Yeah. This is the sum of the rank of the first sample, and this is the size of the first sample. And then you, what we call this, you simplify. Yeah. So what is S1? Then you look back. What is S1? You see the rank of the observation from the first sample. Then look. 32. This is not, I make a mistake. You said, right? This is not 32. And then you say, perhaps you say, oh, you have to change when we get 32, right to 23. No. Yeah. When you get 32, you write 32. This is my typing error. Okay? Yeah. So then minus M. What is M? What is the sample of size, the first sample? The first sample, the size is 5. So 5, 6 divided by 2. Okay? So now 32. 32 minus what here? Minus what? 32? 32? 15. So is it 8? And then you say 8. If 23 minus this, get 8. Is it correct or not?
No.
23 minus 15. Is it 23?
No. It's 17.
This is 32. Mistake. Minus 15 divided by 2. Minus 15 equal to what?
17.
17. Please take note on that. Correct this. And then you said, easy, how to get this? So U2, how to get U2? You said, oh, no need to, compare X, Y to the left, to the right. Yeah. So U2, how to get U2? S2, the rank, the sum of the rank of the second observation. Minus and the sample size of the second samples. So S2, you check. What is the S2? 13. 13 minus 10. So 3. Oh, you said, simple. You said, right? Right, Alia? Simple. Yeah, because no need to make comparison. Yeah. So once you get U1 and U2, you are ready to get the main unit test statistic. So, well, this is typing error. Yeah, this is typing error. So U equal to, what is U equal to? This is typing error here. Yeah, this is typing error. U should be equal to what? U should be equal to minimum of U1, comma 2. So you get 3. So this is typing error. Yeah, typing error. So you just write U equal to minimum of U1, comma U2, and then U equal to, in bracket minimum, 15, 3, then equal to 3. Okay? You see or not? What you get the same like before, isn't it? What you get the same. The same like when you make comparison, which is more tedious, isn't it? So you said, I prefer to use this. Yeah? Now, I want to highlight here, I please take note, I want to highlight here if in the test or in the assignment or what, when you compute the main unit test statistic, it's your choice. You want to use this method or the methods of comparison. I don't, I have no objection, whichever you want to use. But if the question asks you specifically to use the comparison method, then you have to make use of the comparison method. All right? Okay. All right, everyone. Can I proceed?
Proceed.
Okay, good. Right, well, everybody alert. Now, so this is, this is, you just, ada postman. Postman, sorry. Ada postman datang. Okay, now for this, Another exercise, if you look at this, what? Slide number 17. Slide number 17, you try to understand this slide. This is just, this is very simple, just an exercise for you to do. Yeah. So everything just follow closely like what I explained to you before. Yeah. So the same thing, no need to explain because this is, yeah. Okay. Alright, so you just try to do that. I mean, try to understand. This already given, very clear. Yeah. Now, next, this is slide number 20. If you look at slide number 20, well, just like the sign rank test, yeah, Wilcoxon sign rank test. Once you test your hypothesis, we also interested to find the confidence interval for the U statistic or Hodges-Lehmann estimator. Yeah. So here, how are you going to find the confidence interval? Yeah. Or the difference between two population median. Okay. So the first thing to do is to arrange the how many differences altogether? Mn differences. Yeah. So how to get the differences? Y minus x in increasing order. So arrange these differences in increasing order. So then you denote D, the first order of the difference, the second order of the difference, and so on, the mnth order of the difference. Okay. Once you have obtained all the differences, then you set R. Yeah, R, because you want to know in which order. Yeah, so you set R. R equal to W alpha divided by 2. What is this W alpha divided by 2? Where do you get this value from? This value come from the Mann-Whitney test statistic. Okay, plus 1. Okay, plus 1. Always plus 1. This one from the table, this plus 1. Yeah. Then once you get this, the R value, then you are ready to find the 1 minus alpha 100% confidence interval of theta. What is theta? The difference between the two population median. Okay. Well, 1 minus alpha, if you want 95%, meaning that 1 minus 0.05, so 95% confidence interval. So the lower confidence interval of the difference between two population median will be the half order of the difference. The upper interval will be the mn plus 1 minus half order of the difference. Okay. So once, well, this is not new. This is already, I mean, you have seen this when you want to compute the confidence interval for the difference between the population median when using the Wilcoxon sign rank test. Okay. Now let's look at how to find the difference. Okay. Now look. So you have two samples, isn't it? Yeah. Let's say I call this sample A, or initially I forget what letter that I write here. Is this X or Y? I forget already. This is X perhaps. Yeah, this is Y. Yeah. So how I want to find the differences. How many differences should I have? M multiplied by N. M multiplied by N. So altogether 20. How to get this 20? The first observation of the second sample minus the first for the first sample. Yeah. So 28 minus 25 get 3. 29 minus 25 get 4. 32 minus 25 get 7. 35 minus 25 get 10. And dot. Very tired, you know, fasting month to talk a lot here like this. Yeah. So dot. And the last one here, 28 minus 33 minus 5. 29 minus 3 minus 4. Dot. 25 minus 3, 2. So you get all the differences. How many altogether? 4 multiplied by 5. Okay. Now, in order to find the confidence interval, all these differences should be arranged in increasing order. So what will you get is so minus 5. What is the smallest among these? Increasing order, meaning that the first one should be minus 5, minus 4, minus 3. Dot. What is the largest one? What is the
10.
lowest value? 10, isn't it? So once you have arranged all the differences in increasing order, then you are ready to get the lower and upper confidence interval. Okay. So here. So let's say for illustration, I want to find 95%. Please correct this. 95% confidence interval of the difference between the two population median M1 minus M2. Okay. So if 95% confidence interval, meaning that W alpha divided by 2 should be 0.025, isn't it? Please take note. Here W 0.025. Always plus 1. Always plus 1. Okay. Now, I have already show you how to get this W 0.025 when sample size M from 4 from one of a sample and 5 from one sample. So here what you get, I have shown you just now, we get 2. So 2 plus 1 equal to 3. So, okay, now you said, I know R. Which order? The Rth order. So you know that the formula for the lower confidence interval, the Rth order of the difference. So now you say, the third order. So you write the third order of the difference. For the lower confidence interval. And for the upper confidence interval, Mn plus 1 minus R. 20 plus 1 minus 3. So you get the 18th order of the difference. So you get it. So the confidence interval will be of the 95%, not 95%, 95%, not 90%. 95% confidence interval for the difference between M1 minus M2 will be negative 3 between 3 and 8. Okay? Okay, is that clear?
Yes.
Everybody?
Yes.
Yeah, wow, very, very slow. Not energetic. Even though fasting month should be energetic. Like me. Okay. Everybody clear with that?
Yes.
Okay. Just one moment. Just a moment. So if you are clear with that, so I want to take your attendance. I want to take your attendance because I'm supposed to take attendance. Yeah. And please note, you have